The story revolves around Sarah, a young woman who has just decided to leave her family and move to a new town. Because it's her first time in a strange place and she doesn't have much money, Sarah spends several days searching for an affordable apartment. Luckily, she finds an apartment complex with all the necessary amenities. The manager, Jerry, is very welcoming and even gives her a tour. The complex has residents from all walks of life, but they all share one thing in common. They are very friendly and open. The only condition is that pets are not allowed. Although Sarah owns a cat, she lied to the manager in order to rent the apartment. That evening, Sarah's father calls from home to check on her, but she hasn't been close to him since her mother passed away. Sarah decided to leave home and move to the city to pursue her dream of becoming a fashion designer. The next day, Sarah began moving into her new apartment. She befriended her neighbor Brian in the apartment next door. He seemed cheerful and charming. That evening, the residents of the apartment complex held a party to welcome Sarah. She was surprised by their hospitality. After a few days, Sarah found a suitable new office job and made friends with a lovely female colleague named Lisa. She thought life would gradually get better. However, strange things began to happen. At night, she would suddenly wake up, startled by strange noises coming from the next room. This repeated itself, causing Sarah severe insomnia. Even more frightening, one night, while lying awake in bed, Sarah discovered someone breaking into her room. She ran out to check, but the shadowy figure had quickly vanished. The next day, Sarah was at home when she received a letter someone had thrown under her door. It was full of insults, calling Sarah a bitch for secretly keeping a cat, even though it wasn't allowed in the building. Sarah was terrified after reading it, and she began to look at the residents of the apartment building differently. On the outside, they appeared cheerful and friendly, but who knew what they were thinking inside? The next day, Sarah told her colleague Lisa about it to help her feel better. That evening, Lisa came to Sarah's house and had dinner with her, comforting and encouraging Sarah not to worry too much, to just do what she wanted, and not to care about what others thought. It seemed that Sarah could finally move on with her life. However, late that night, while she was sleeping, she suddenly smelled something burning in the kitchen. Upon checking, she was horrified to find her cat dead, its body lying in the oven. Before Sarah could react, a dark figure suddenly lunged from behind, attacking and tying her to a chair. It was none other than her neighbor, Brian. He then attempted to inject Sarah with a sedative. Terrified, she resisted, pushing the man away and running outside, shouting for help. A woman appeared and rushed to Sarah's side. Thinking she was safe, Sarah realized the woman was also an accomplice of Brian. He then attacked her, dragging her back into the room. The surrounding residents and the manager, Jerry, also arrived. Sarah now understood she had stumbled into the lair of a dangerous group. She was then given a sedative injection, and when she woke up, she found herself locked in a sealed room. Brian and Jerry entered, and they told that she had been chosen to be a resident of the apartment complex. All her contact with the outside world had been cut off. He also impersonated Sarah and sent a resignation letter to her company. Jerry then instructed Sarah to place her hands on the wall and hold them there until the indicator light went off. She tried to resist, but they brought a man into the room. He was Lester, a resident. However, like Sarah, the man initially resisted, resulting in one of his eyes being gouged out, a truly terrifying sight. Brian advised Sarah to be obedient if she didn't want to end up like them. Terrified, she followed their instructions. The place was filled with surveillance cameras, and Sarah could do nothing but stand still. After several hours of torture, the lights finally went out. Sarah collapsed to the ground, exhausted. At that moment, some food was brought into the room, her dinner. Sarah felt like she was in a prison. To make her submit and wholeheartedly obey them, the manager, Jerry, sent an old woman to indoctrinate Sarah. The woman told her that the apartment complex was designed as a microcosm of society. The residents had to set aside their egos and work for the common good. In the following days, Sarah was continuously tortured by being forced to press her hands against the wall. She was exhausted and about to give up, but Brian ruthlessly stabbed a nail through her palm. Sarah was in immense pain but powerless. A few days passed, and she gradually lost her ability to resist. Whenever the signal light came on, Sarah would automatically sit up and place her hands on the wall. Seeing the changes in her compared to the first day, the manager, Jerry, happily announced that Sarah had officially become one of them. The girl was then helped by her neighbors to wash up and change clothes. It was then that Sarah noticed that they all had 2 scars on their hands, like nail marks. It turned out that every resident here had experienced the same torture as her. To ensure Sarah had no intention of escaping, Jerry and Brian used a lie detector to investigate her, demanding that she reveal all her private secrets. Jerry explained that living here required complete trust in each other, with no secrets or treacherous thoughts. Every apartment has surveillance cameras. Even the bathrooms and toilets are monitored 24/7. Anyone wanting to leave must ask the manager for a key to unlock the door. If someone makes a mistake or violates the rules, they are punished by being slapped in the face by each resident. Even more terrifying, not only adults but also children born here are taken to special classes every day to listen to the twisted ideologies of the very man who created this social model. Although Sarah outwardly seems completely assimilated, she still harbors the intention of rebelling and escaping. However, Lester seems to have seen through her thoughts. He shakes his head and advises her against doing anything foolish. After a few days of getting acquainted with the residents and seeing Sarah's good behavior, Jerry allows her to work in the surveillance room with Brian. She discovers that this room also has cameras. When she asked who was watching them, Brian gestured for her to be quiet and advised her not to be curious. While watching the camera, Sarah suddenly noticed that the old woman had unexpectedly suffered a heart attack. Thanks to Sarah's timely detection, the old woman was fortunate enough to receive timely treatment. Jerry was very pleased and praised Sarah. The next day, the residents of the apartment building gathered at the old woman's house. Knowing that her illness was too severe and incurable, the manager, Jerry, decided to let her pass away peacefully to save on food and caregiving costs. The old woman, far from being afraid, happily agreed, saying she was ready to die without regret. After saying goodbye, her head was tightly bound to a plastic bag, and then the oxygen was slowly sucked out, causing her to stop breathing. The surrounding residents were all saddened, but Sarah was utterly stunned by what she had just witnessed. The following day, the manager, Jerry, officially admitted Sarah as a resident of the building. They used a molten iron rod to press hard against her ear, creating a scar as a symbol to prove she had become a member of the community. Furthermore, Jerry then unilaterally decided to arrange a marriage between Sarah and Lester. The two would live together and consider themselves husband and wife. It turns out that people here cannot even decide who to marry on their own, but must go through the arrangements of the leaders. Even so, Sarah still didn't pay attention and decided to listen to them. As she gradually became a part of this place, one day, Sarah's father suddenly came to visit. Because he couldn't contact his daughter, he went to this apartment building himself. Jerry asked Sarah to find a way to send him home, or else he himself would be in danger. Although the girl was heartbroken, she could do nothing but say cruel words to her own father, even though he tried to advise his daughter to return home. But Sarah did not agree and cursed loudly, causing him to angrily slap the girl in the face, then quickly leave. Sarah herself knew that this was the only way to keep her father safe. But the story doesn't stop there. One day, manager Jerry continued to recruit new people to become residents of the apartment complex. Sarah discovers that her close colleague Lisa is also a candidate. The manager said that her profile was suitable for this place. People with sad pasts, who often lived alone without contact with many friends, would be suitable candidates. They then began using measures to mentally torture Lisa, the same way they did with Sarah before. But her colleague is an extremely tough person. She would rather die than be subdued. Sarah tried to advise, saying that she would become better if she became a resident here. However, Lisa immediately exposed Sarah's true face, claiming that the girl was just lying to herself. She is not happy at all, but is just deceiving herself. At this time, the manager appeared and intended to use a nail in Lisa's ear as punishment. He also gave the awl to Sarah and asked her to help him. But when faced with two options, Sarah finally realized what she needed to do. The girl took the awl and stabbed the manager's neck, then quickly grabbed Lisa's hand and ran away. Suddenly, the man used a gun to shoot Lisa dead. Sarah angrily rushed to pin him down, stabbed him repeatedly, causing him to die instantly. The girl then stole the manager's gun and keys, intending to open the door and escape. Surrounding residents heard the alarm and immediately surrounded Sarah. They were extremely angry when she dared to kill Jerry. Sarah tried to use words to wake those people up, but they were completely brainwashed and didn't care about what the girl said from the beginning. Knowing that she had done something useless, Sarah immediately used a gun to kill Brian, then ran straight to the main door. However, as soon as she opened the door, Lester rushed in and grabbed the gun. The surrounding people also rushed in and held the girl tightly. Knowing she couldn't escape, Sarah asked Lester to shoot her dead, but suddenly he opened fire and killed the young man holding the girl. Lester then asked Sarah to escape before it's too late. He ran to close the door and killed himself. At the end of the movie, Sarah finally escaped from that scary apartment building, but when she stepped outside the town, she was suddenly startled to discover that the houses here all had cameras installed, and they were continuously emitting warning sounds. At this moment, the girl understood that not only the apartment building, but the entire town was the property of those strange people. Sarah laughs before running away. Her fight is only beginning. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.